So I know that a couple of you have basically just registered, right, for this course because, you know, it's the second week and now, you know, and now that's when you can start asking the professor to get in and stuff like that. If that's the case, we have a quiz today. If it's your first day, don't worry about it. Just send me an email afterwards to let me know so that we can handle that however we judge best. Now, I'm going to give people plenty of time to get in here, and I'm going to review some of the content that we're on there so that when we're taking the quiz, nothing comes as a complete surprise, right? So now from when I taught this course back last summer, I did note that basically that this course went really fast. And I was like, wow, it's halfway done through the semester, and I think I've fulfilled 90% of the requirements that I needed to do for the course. So there was that. I'm okay with like taking things. So one thing I've learned is to do this a bit slower in terms of content. So we're going to see where we get with the lecture today, and then for Thursday, I think I want to try to do an in-class exercise. So if you have a laptop, definitely bring it. And if you don't have a laptop or can't bring a laptop, don't worry. We'll pair you up with somebody else because there's going to be at least, you know, at least every other person has a laptop in this class. So okay, so that one will be. So I'm aiming to want to do some in-class exercises as well throughout the semester. We'll see how that works out. If it's a complete nightmare, then I'll avoid doing them. But otherwise, you know, the times I've done in-class exercises, they've been really well received. And what it will be on if statements. If we have got into, and depending on how far we get, we'll check that out. So, all right. I've also posted your latest homework, which you'll be able to work on in lab. It's 3 small assignments, just 3 small programs. Cruelly enough, is that the first one is the hardest one because it requires logic. The other 2 are just converters, right? You know, the first 2 are just converters. So, you know, basically convert Celsius to Fahrenheit using your computer, and the other ones convert seconds to hours, minutes, and seconds. So those will just require some amount of logic, but mainly math. But those will be, you know, you'll have the entire lab period to work on those if you need to. For Tuesday and Wednesday. So that's not Tuesday, for Wednesday and Thursday, right? Those are when the labs are. All right. Yes. When is the first quiz due? We're going to take quizzes. Don't so much have a due date. They're given in class. We'll give it today, and I'll give you guys an access code so that you guys can take the quiz. So let's just go ahead, and I want to review what we've just been talking about in the class, and especially what's going to be on the quiz. So this quiz. So hopefully now you've all done your Hello World. We've learned about the mathematical operators. We've learned how to store stuff inside variables, right? One of the things that I mentioned that we need to learn about and get across is like something like this. X is equal to 6, right? Now that equal sign, right, stores 6 inside of X, right? Now these variables can modify themselves. It can be modified in respect to themselves. Because what that equal sign is that it's actually an assignment operator. Think of it as more of an arrow, right? Think of it as more like this, right? More like an arrow, where it's saying we're going to evaluate the expression on the right, then we're going to store it on the left, right? So that expression on the right evaluates to 6 times 2, which is 12, and then we're going to store 12 in X. So X's new value will be 12, right? That's one thing so that's the first tricky thing to really remember. Otherwise, it pretty much works it works exactly like you would expect it to, right? As far as arithmetic operators, right? 4 plus 5 divided by 2, right, it will do 5 divided by 2 first, which will give you 2.5, plus 4, which will give you 6. Well, sorry. I pressed enter there while I had it highlighted. So, sorry, 6.5. So 5 divided by 2 gives you 2.5, plus 4 gives you 6.5. Right? So now if you're coming from another programming language, you may have expected that to be 6 instead, right? And that's because that was an integer on the left and an integer on the right. In Python, they thought that was a bit too confusing. So and was the source of a lot of unintentional errors. So they just simply said, hey, convert it to a double. So what is the value of 5 divide 2? Oh, yeah, should probably type in that 2. Yeah, it's 2. So it's basically 4th grade math when you just give me the quotient without the remainder. So how many times does it go into it? And then we throw out any, bits that don't fit. Right? Any decimal points we'll throw out. Right? 7 divided by 2 will give me 3. 9 divided by 2 will give me 4. But 9 single divided by 2 will give me 4.5. Okay? Let's see. What else was there? There was... so there was... Let's see. All right. And then there's one more operator, which is the modulo operator, which gives me the remainder. Right? So what is the remainder of 9 after it's been divided by 2? 1. 9 mod 2, 9 divided by 2, remainder gives me 1. So remember, modulo gives me the remainder of in any operation. 9 mod 4, sorry, 9 mod 5 would be 1 remainder 4, so the answer is 4. All right? And finally, when we're dealing with text, the last big thing I wanted to we learned about was basically these escape sequences. And we've learned about it. I actually learned about something interesting with escape sequences, right? This, for instance, says hello /n world, right? That /n produces a new line, right? So it does that. And that's what we call an escape sequence to do to do things that we normally don't really display. Like a /t will give me a tab, right? Although, interestingly enough, and then we need, if we want to do a backslash, an actual backslash, we need 2 backslashes in most cases. Although Python's actually really smart, as I learned, to my dismay, and it will figure out that that if you have this, it'll just print out 1 backslash. I don't know why it does that. This is news to me that it does that. So, in summary, always escape your backslashes because otherwise it's going to get confusing. Right? It interpreted that one as a quotation mark. Right? Print // so remember, why do we want to use that? Why did that happen? Right? It says he said /quote hello /quote, right? Because we use the quotes to dictate when we have this. He said hello to me, right? All right, so that's enough review. People have trickled in fully. So go ahead and go to Canvas, and under the Quizzes tab, if you don't have a computer, by the way, you can pull it up on your phone or on the Canvas app. Okay, go to Canvas, and you should be able to see a quiz under there. There should only be one. Select it, and it will ask for a passcode.